Alright, hey guys, what is up? It's NintendoCollector, and I'm going to be doing another pickup video today. I found some great stuff this week, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, these finds are actually from last week. The Yahtzee contest video, if you watch that one, you could see in the part where I found the Yahtzee at the very end, I had some NES games laid out on Daniel's trunk that I picked up, but I didn't really show what they were. These were it. I believe I got all of these for 10 bucks. So I got Mad Max, and all of them are in pretty good shape, so that was nice. Mad Max, so it's a good one to have. I didn't have that. Cable or Cabal, or however you'd say it. I've heard some good things about this game, so I was glad to finally pick that up. It was in great shape as well. Legendary Wings, and it actually had the sleeve with it. Legendary Wings, I heard something about it. I want to say it was from the Game Man Dan. He reviewed it, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But I remember whatever I saw about it, it looked like a fun game made by Capcom, so you know it can't be that bad. So that was cool. Plus it had the dust sleeve, the Nintendo dust sleeve, which is always nice. If I can get it in there. There we go. That's what she said. Next game, King's Knight. I actually know nothing about this game other than I saw Square on there. I don't know if it's focusing or not, but it says Square right there. So I decided to pick it up. It looked kind of interesting. I know nothing about the game, but I saw Square, so I'm like, you know what, I'll pick it up. And lastly, this is the worst condition one, obviously, because it has this big barcode on it, label. It's called Vice Project Doom. Haven't heard anything about this game. Thought it looked kind of cool. Got a ripped guy on the front wearing a sleeveless shirt with a chick on him, so he must be kind of cool, right? Probably not. Okay. So yeah, that was cool. So 10 bucks for all those. Not a bad deal. Let's see, that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That'd be 2 bucks a NES game. So any game you don't have for $2 or less, always a good find, in my opinion. So yeah, that was last week's pickup. Moving on, I went to a thrift store. Only thing I found was a Nintendo NES RF switch. Actually, this is the Super Nintendo one. You can see it has the S in parentheses in the NES, so Super Nintendo RF switch. Got that for 69 cents, so can't beat that. Next, I know I say all the time, or I've said before, that I absolutely hate buying stuff off of eBay, but these next two things I just kind of had to get because, okay, the first one I know you're going to be really surprised about, and that is a Super Nintendo controller. And actually, I only have like 2 Super Nintendo controllers, and one of them, the L button doesn't work. So I was happy to get another pretty much mint-shaped Super Nintendo first-party controller, not the Super Nintendo mini controllers that have like Nintendo engraved right there. Happy to get that because Super Nintendo controllers around here are always really hard to find. So I picked this up for pretty cheap. Happy to finally have 2 working Super Nintendo controllers. I need more of them, so if you have any Super Nintendos you don't want, send them my way. Just kidding. But really though, I need Super Nintendo controllers, so that was cool to get. Next thing is the other thing I bought off eBay, and I got it for a really good deal, surprisingly. And I think I ended up paying around 20 bucks with shipping, but I won the bid for 15, and maybe high price to some of you, but for me it was a good price because it's something I've wanted ever since I've had a 64. I've never seen, and I finally saw one on eBay for cheap-ish, so I got it, and I picked it up, and I won, and that is an Extreme Green Nintendo 64 controller with a crisp joystick, I might add. And this thing is like flawless shape, and I've always wanted this thing. I love anything that's like neon green like that. I believe the story behind these they sold them at Toys R Us. Not 100% sure on that, but I think that might be it. But I've always wanted one ever since I was younger. Had a 64. Finally have one though, so this is kind of a cool collectible piece because they are hard to find. Not the hardest controller to find for the 64, but I know it's one of the more uncommon ones. And it also included a rumble pack, so that was cool. Alright, next find is something a buddy. The next 2 finds are actually something one of my buddies gave me, or not gave me, sold to me. And I just want to point out that asking your friends for their old Nintendo stuff or video game stuff is always a good idea, especially if they're not into collecting, because chances are they'll sell it to you for cheap because they're your friend. You know, they don't have any use for it anymore, so they just want to get rid of it. They don't care what it's worth. And they might have some good stuff, so this is something I've picked up on recently. always ask your friends if they have any old stuff that they'd be interested in selling. So this next thing was my friend Mac. He sold me his Nintendo 64 stuff, and this was just awesome find in my opinion. It was the 64 obviously, and it came with 2 controllers, just a standard gray one with the Pokemon transfer pack in there. Awesome to have, you know, that was kind of a cool little add-on. I already have one, but you know, you can never have too many, I guess. The ice blue 64 controller, the joystick on this is kind of a dud, but I mean it still works. Not as crisp as I'd like it to be, but you know, it's whatever. You can see it's kind of moving around on itself, but whatever. It's still kind of, I always like getting the other colored controllers. And it actually, with the hookups, he had the, I think it's the Fire Orange, was it Fire Orange console, which was really cool because I don't have any other 64 like the colored ones, and I know they're always worth a little bit more. So this was super cool that he had this, and it's in great shape. Unfortunately, it just has the jumper pack, but that's all right. Still, I'll tell you how much I paid for all this in a minute. But he says he thinks he knows where the orange controller with it is, which is even better. So he's going to give me that if he finds it. But if not, still a good deal because it came with a couple controllers, one of them which being one of the colored ones. But it actually had Wave Race 64, bad shape, but you know, it works. That was in there. I'm actually going to be giving that to Daniel because he doesn't have that game. Came in this box and it had a bunch of manuals in it. Manuals that didn't even come with, but good manuals to have. Manuals for games that didn't come with, but ones that I don't have. Super Mario 64, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, just to name a few. There's some old Super Nintendo ones, Hook for the Super Nintendo. So that was really cool that those were all in there. And the other 2 games that were with it, this one it was laying right on top, and that is Yoshi's Story with the manual. That was really cool to have because I don't have this game yet, and I know it's kind of uncommon. I know it's, yeah, an uncommon game to find, so that was really cool. And the next one was probably the better game, or the best game out of all of it, and it was hidden under all these instructions, and I didn't find it until I got home. And it's not really a rare game, but it's more sought after, so it's kind of expensive, and that is Mario Party 3. So that was really cool to have. I already actually have a copy of this, so not a whole lot of use for it, but still that was really cool to have because I know this is a more pricey game. And next was by far one of my better finds in a long time. I was talking to my friend about this kind of stuff, and he said he had some in his closet, so I was like, okay, I'll come take a look at it and ask if he wanted to sell it to me. And he said, yeah, sure, that's fine. I was like, how much? He said, $10 for this next thing I'm about to show you. I paid $10 for all of it, and I forgot to tell you, I just realized I paid $10 for all of this stuff too, 64, so that was really sweet. So $10 for this entire lot I'm about to show you, and I was just blown away for everything I got for $10 because he was just really cool about it. So first he gave me, well, I'll kind of show you everything, a Nintendo Entertainment System with 2 controllers, all the hookups, the gray zapper, the Advantage, and it actually has a new 72-bit pin connector with it, which is awesome because his dad was eventually going to put it in but never got around to it, and some games with it, and I was blown away that the box isn't in the best shape, but it was just sweet that he still had the box, because what happened was he first sold me the games and he's like, well, I have the system and stuff too, but I don't know where that's at, so I'll find that and give it to you. So I was like, okay. So I expected it just to be all this, you know, but when he gave it to me, I was just shocked that it still had the box with it too. So, you know, it's not in the best shape or anything, but it's still sweet that he still had the box. So I always like that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool to me to find, and it's cool that it had the free inside, the official Nintendo Player's Guide. So I actually have that book, which is kind of cool. So this was really cool that it came with the box. But the better part, obviously, is the games that it came with, and we'll go over that here now. So it came with some of these loose games. It came with Gauntlet, still in the box, the Tengen version. It's the only game it had the box, so that was kind of weird and cool that, I guess it doesn't have the top to it or something like that. I don't know. So that was weird. I've never had a Tengen game in the box, so that was kind of cool. Double Dragon 2 in good shape. Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 in good shape. All these games are in like almost mint condition, if not mint, because they sat in his closet for like 10 years because they were his dad's. Dragon Warrior has a nick right there, but that's like a Defender of the Crown. Don't know much about this game, but I don't have it. It's one of the few games in the lot I didn't have. Rescue the Embassy Mission, another one I didn't have. And then it came in this awesome case, the Nintendo case, that I actually recognize, it's most iconic to me from the Wizard. They have one of these in the Wizard, so I always think of that when I see one of these. I have one, but it's in awful shape, so it's cool to get one that's in good shape and fully functioning. But it has in it, if I can get it open here, suspense is probably killing you. Oh my god, can I really not get it? Hold on. There we go. It has Super Mario Bros. 2 copies of Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt. 2 copies of Super Mario Bros. 3. Copy of Metroid. Copy of Tetris. A copy of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which I have, but I'm switching this one out with one of mine because it's in awesome shape. Zelda 2 and Zelda 1, both better copy than mine. I'm going to add, so I'm going to switch those out with mine too. So that was sweet, and the one game in the whole thing that made it worth it to me. Not a terribly rare game, but one I've been looking for a long time, and I know it's kind of pricey, but I've never actually seen it out in the wild, and that is Ninja Gaiden 3. So that was really awesome to get Ninja Gaiden 3 finally, because I have 1 and 2, both games that I love, and this thing is like perfect shape, I might add. So this was awesome. This to me made the entire $10 worth it, even more than it already is. So that was really cool that was in there. So yeah, those were my pickups for this week. I'll kind of go through my bed and show you everything again. Really awesome pickups. $10 for 2 system lots. 15 for that controller. I think about 7 on the SNES controller. 2 a piece on those, and 69 cents on this. Didn't spend a terrible amount of money, but definitely hauled in some good stuff. So yeah, hopefully I'll come at you guys next week with another pickup video. So until then, just like this video if you liked what you saw. Definitely subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And as always, leave a comment below telling me what you thought, and maybe even leave a comment saying what some of your recent pickups are. I love seeing that kind of stuff, and I love reading your guys' comments. So guys, it's NintendoCollector, and I will see you next week or something like that with another video. Thanks for watching.